Hi guys, and welcome back to the channel. This is the third video of my Market Master Indicator series, and in this video I will add weekly, daily and monthly price levels. So as you can see, I have opened the current state of the indicator on my chart. So this is what we have got so far. And it's not much, yet, because in the previous video, which was basically the first video or the first coding video of this project, I have just prepared the environment. I have changed the background, the candlestick colors, so basically the visualization part of my chart. And I think that's all. Yeah, I think I haven't done anything else besides these things. So let's continue. So this is my document in which I basically prepared the the content of the indicator, let's say. So far these are all the things that this indicator should have. This doesn't mean that I won't add any new features as I go on with this project, but so far this is all I've got. Okay, so as you can see, if you start with the first section, which is large scale. So basically this, so large scale, and under this large scale, the first concept is key market levels. So key market levels, what does it mean? They are basically the daily, weekly and monthly levels, so highs and lows. So that's what I will basically add today to the indicator. Okay, so yeah, let's get to it. So this is my MT5 IDE. So let me just find the indicator file project. So this is YouTube folder, and if you remember correctly, we have created a project for this indicator. Therefore, it's under this Market Master Indicator folder. So I have to open it, and then this is my main file. So let's just open this as well. And this is what we have got so far. Okay, so let me just change the font size to 18 so you can see it nicely. And let's continue. Okay, so weekly, monthly and daily price levels. So I think this concept is going to be one of the simpler ones, okay, because yeah, it's very straightforward, let's say. So let's start. So what I will do is that I will firstly create an input section for this concept, and then I will go and code the levels in the on calculate function. Okay, so let's create so input group, okay, and let's call this important price levels, okay, and then let's create a few inputs inside this section. Okay, so I think I want to make this indicator as, let's say, dynamic as possible. So for each level, I will add an option to enable or disable. So for example, if you are not interested in daily levels, you should be able to disable them. Okay, so that's what I will aim for as well. So input boolean, and let's start with input show daily levels, which will be equal to true. So now let's just copy this 2 times and change daily to weekly levels. Ah, come on. Weekly levels, and the last option is monthly levels as well. Okay, so let's start with this. So the next thing, basically, the user might want to change is the color, basically, of the lines, because just to explain what I have in mind is that basically, let's just say that we are at this point, and what we want to do is that we want to plot out basically the highest price level for the current day, which is this price level, lowest level for the current day, which is this level, And then for the week, okay, so if you go back like 5 days, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, then do the same thing for the highest highest price level of the week, and the lowest price level of the week stays the same because this is local low. And then the same thing for the monthly level basically. So yeah, so we would go like further back, and then for example set the monthly high here. So yeah, and these lines basically can have different colors. So that's what I want to make a dynamic parameter from as well. So the user can set the colors based on his or her preference. Okay, so let's do so input color. So input daily level color, which will be equal to color aqua. Let's go with aqua. So let's just copy this 2 more times and just change to weekly. Oh, come on, sorry. Weekly and monthly. Okay, so the weekly level can have, I don't know, let's go with white color. Since our background is dark, white color might be nice. And for the monthly level, let's go with, I don't know, violet, for example. We can change that later, yeah, so let's not focus on choosing the right colors or the best colors right now. Let's just focus on creating basically the section for this concept. Okay, so this is what we've got so far. So basically you have show daily level, and under that you have the color for that level. And now we can also change a few things about the type basically of the line we will be drawing the levels with. Okay, so let me just check. Perfect. Okay, so it will be input. Now I think it's enum line style, and let's just say input price levels style, which will be equal to style dot. Okay, so I basically want to have a dotted line as each of these price levels. Okay, so far so good. So I guess this is everything we need to do so far. So let's go down here and let's continue. Okay, so before we start, what I will create, or let's just say that I won't be creating like indicator plots for these levels, so I won't be using the buffers, because I think much easier way to do this is by drawing the trend lines. Okay, so I will use trend lines instead. And since I will be using trend lines, and I will be using basically, or I will create multiple lines, therefore I will do, or I will execute the same type of code multiple times. I will create a function which will basically take a few parameters, and based on these few parameters it will create a trend line. So by doing this, it will be much easier to create these levels or price levels. Okay, so let's create a void function which will be called create TL, which stands for the trend line, and it will have a few input parameters it will require from us. So the first input parameter it will require is name. Okay, so name of the object, because every object has to have its own name, and yeah, it will be the first parameter it will require. So the second parameter is obviously the price. Okay, so basically we need to tell the function at which price we want to create the trend line. Then date time, and it will require 2 date times, basically the starting date and the ending date. Okay, so basically if I show you on my chart, if I want to plot a trend line, so for example this, yeah, I can like make it shorter, make it longer, and if you look at it at this point, this is basically the starting date and this is the ending date, and we need to specify basically these two dates for the function. Okay, so date time, it's starting date, and date time ending date. And then also we need to input the color of line, okay, and I think also the style of the line, okay, because here we allow the user to choose the line style, and therefore we want to use this specific line style for the trend lines as well. So let me just create this and let's just say line style. Okay, so I hope you can see it clearly. I hope my webcam doesn't interfere with the actual code. So let's continue. So now just check my webcam. It shifts a bit, but it should be okay. Okay, so let's continue. So now we can actually create the trend lines. So object create. So chart ID, it's 0 in most of the cases. I'm not sure if it can be changed, like if I deploy it on multiple charts, but let's go with 0 now and I will change it later if I have to. So object name is equal to the name parameter, object style, or type. So obviously it's object trend because this function is for the trend lines. So sub window is 0, time is, and now basically the trend line requires 4 arguments. So time 1, price 1, time 2, price 2. So time 1 is obviously the starting date, price is price. Then the second time is ending date, and the second price is still the price, because basically the slope of the trend line is going to be horizontal. Yeah, it will be a straight line like this. And I think this is all we need to specify for now. So then we want to basically give it a few other features. So chart ID is the same, name is the same, and now object property color, which will be equal to the color of line, and then object set integer 0, name object property style, which will be equal to the line style. Okay, so this is our function for creating the trend lines. So now let's go here and let's create them. So the important thing is to think about what we will do first and then do it. Okay, so obviously so first thing, I won't be creating like for the daily levels, I won't create them based on the current day's highest and lowest price. I will apply it to the previous day's highest and lowest price. Okay, so basically this is the highest daily level, this is the lowest daily level. Okay, so this is basically how I will deal with the daily levels. And then weekly levels and monthly levels are like there's nothing that can be changed. Just okay, so yeah, so now the first obvious thing is that I have to create these objects only once per day. Okay, so when basically we start a new day, I have to check the old prices and I have to create, or I have to update the lines or the price levels, if that makes sense. So first of all, we have to basically detect the new day, and this can be done in multiple ways. So I will do it, I think, like this. So static date time or date time. Okay, so let me think about it. So how to detect that we basically yeah, let's try to do it like this. So static date time last day, which is equal to 0. So this is basically the date time for the start of the last day we basically updated the lines at. Okay, and then we will do date time current day time, which will be equal to 0 as well. Sorry, time, which will be equal to 0 as well. And now, basically, what we will do is that we will create also one integer variable, which will be called day shift bar, which will be equal to 0. And then on this for loop, what I will do is that I will say that day shift bar is equal to the I bars shift for the current symbol at day 1, and time is time dot I, and exact is false. So now it will basically return the index number of the at the current time for the 1 day candlestick. Okay, so this is now what we can use to basically get the actual day. So now the current day time is equal to the I dot time for the current symbol, period day 1, and day shift bar. Okay, so far everything's okay. And now we can check. So if current or if last day time is not equal to the current day time, meaning there's a new day and we haven't done anything so far, I will update the last day time to the current day time, and I will create these levels. Okay, so now I will do create a trend line, and before I can do this, I have to get the actual values. Okay, so now I have to get the weekly high, monthly high, and daily high, and vice versa for low. Okay, so let's continue. Like, this is much more difficult with indicators than in expert advisors, which is okay, because at least we can exercise different approaches to doing this, but yeah, it's more difficult. Okay, so now basically we will create variables for daily high, daily low, weekly high, weekly low, and month high, month low. So basically inside of these variables we will store the price values. Okay, so I hope everything's clear so far. And now I will do it more efficiently. So daily high will be equal to the I high for the current symbol, period day 1, because we are working with daily values or daily candlesticks, and shift will be equal to the I bars shift for the current symbol, period day 1, time I, exact is false, plus 1, because we want it for the previous day. So we basically get the index for the current day, okay, and then we shift by 1. And I think this should do the trick. Hopefully, let's say. Not 100% sure, but hopefully this will do the trick. So let's do this for the daily low. So just change I low, and this should be okay. So now I will create the trend lines only for the daily highs and lows, and if it's okay, I will do it for the rest as well. So now let's create a trend line, which will be equal to, so firstly we have to specify the name, which will be equal to daily high plus time I. Like the reason why we don't, or why it's not enough just to use, for example, daily high like this, is that we will create multiple objects, okay? And every object has to have different name than the previous one, otherwise it won't be created. So that's basically why I have to give it this unique part of the name, which will basically be different with every object, because the time will be different. So it will basically create multiple objects like this. Price will be equal to the daily high. Starting date, okay, so this is very important now. So starting date will be equal. So what we basically want to do, I think it should be current datetime, and ending date is current date time plus 360 times 24. So we basically say that this will be valid for 1 day. Okay. Color of line. So let's go with input daily level color and input price level style. Okay, so I hope that it's clear what I am doing so far. Like, it's not difficult when you think about this, but yeah, I completely understand if it seems like too much, but it should be okay. So let's just try this, and let's now open this thing here, and let's just try out what will happen. Okay, so I guess I won't succeed on my first try, but let's see. So YouTube market master indicator, and let's just try to, let's just try to check if this works. Yeah, and it seems like it does work. Yeah, so basically if we check it here, you can see that, for example, this is the previous day. Yeah, you can see it because there's my webcam, right? Sorry, I forget about that sometimes. So now you should see it nicely. Okay, so for example, for this current day, you can see that the daily high is at this level, which is equal to the previous day's high, which is okay. And this low is equal to the previous day's lows, which is also okay. So if you ask me, this seems solid. And then when we start the next day, we update these values. So this is the previous day's high. This is the previous day's low. So this seems solid. This seems solid. And I'm really happy about this. Let me just try to do this on like live chart just to see if it will. Okay, so why? So now obviously there's a difference between live chart and the optimization or the strategy tester chart, because on live chart it doesn't do anything, but in strategy tester it does something. And like what I think it's happening here is that it just takes a lot of time to basically create these lines, because yeah, it depends on the history basically, or the available history. But if you have a lot of available data, it will start at the beginning, and basically creating this amount of lines can take some time. So what I will just try here is that, just for the sake of this, I will say that okay, so this is correct approach for calculating the initial I, but I will change it to static I, which will be equal to rates total minus 2000, for example. So now I decrease the number of for loops or loops, and it should draw everything correctly now. and it doesn't that's just perfect. Okay, so okay, so there's something that causes this to yeah, so this is okay because this is basically because of us decreasing basically the number of for loops, and this is because of the candlesticks. Okay, so just ignore this, just focus here. And it doesn't, why doesn't it work? Well, here it works okay, so I really don't understand why. Okay, so let me check the, where is it? Yeah, toolbox should be here. So let me check if there's anything in journal. It's not. Experts also nothing. Alerts nothing. So what am I missing here? Everything's loaded successfully. So there has to be something that I am just missing. Okay, so let's go over this once again. So like this should be okay, right? So why doesn't it work on live chart? Ah, yeah. So it just takes an enormous amount of time, I guess, basically to pick up. This is not good. Like, I will have to do something with this later, but I guess for now we can go with like this. Okay, so far the only thing I'm interested in is checking whether or testing whether the logic basically works or not. And the logic works, but the runtime is terrible, which I will deal with later. So now we basically have to do the same thing for the weekly high. Okay, so let's just change this to weekly high, weekly low, monthly high, monthly low. This will be changed to weekly high, weekly low. Let's take this. Oh, I haven't specified. So daily high. There's, yeah, it's okay. It's okay. I didn't have to specify it more times. Okay, so now monthly high, now monthly low. So current daytime, which is okay. Both of these lines apply only for one day, which is also okay. And now let's just change this to weekly level color. Weekly level color. And monthly level color, and also here. Okay, so I hope you can see what I'm doing. Now I will scroll down here, so now you should see the complete code. So let's compile this and let's hope it will basically pick up. And it did. Okay, so yeah, so now obviously so now obviously the issue is that I don't have the appropriate values for weekly high, weekly low, and monthly high, and monthly low. Okay, so like it will be almost the same thing. I will just change the period to week 1. Okay, and I will also change the period here. And there won't be this shift. Okay, so just make sure you don't add this shift in there. So week 1, delete the shift here. And now let's do the same thing, I guess. Yeah, so sorry, I low, which will be also here, and this is period month 1 here, And let's do the same for the high value of the month and month here. Okay, so now it will obviously have... This is perfect. This is absolutely perfect. So I will test this firstly, yeah, just to check if it works in the strategy tester, because if it works there, like the logic is okay. And the possible reason why it won't pick up is basically, yeah, because of... okay, so does it work? And it does work. Okay, so here you can see everything clearly, and I think picking or choosing the white color is not the best thing here, simply because it's not that visible. So let's change it to something like... let's change this to something like color. So we have aqua violet. I don't know. Orange, maybe. Let's try orange. If it doesn't look nice, I can change it later. But let's just try the orange. And here, basically, you can see that you can change the colors, okay? So if you don't like the orange color, which looks like this, I do like it, you can change it in the input. Okay, so now this is basically how it looks like, and you can see that it starts at this point because I still have that modified for loop, let's say. So I am just checking back the last 2000 candlesticks. So that's why it starts here. But like you can see that this is okay. So this is for the weekly level. Yeah, so this is the weekly one. This is the monthly one. Okay, and can I zoom back more? I can't. So we can only like see the weekly level right here, which is okay. And yeah, so I am pretty happy with this, to be honest with you. I am pretty happy. Like it doesn't look so great with these daily levels because it's pretty messy, let's say, but like there's no way around this. It still shifts. Perfect. Yeah, so this is okay. This is okay. So now what we also have to do is that we have to check. So if input show daily levels, okay, so now we have to like add those Boolean conditions, okay. So for example, if you don't want to see the daily levels, you should be able to turn them off. So input show weekly levels, and now let's do the same thing for the monthly levels as well. So monthly levels, so input show monthly levels, okay. And I forgot to add one thing. So basically, when we for example deploy the indicator on one chart and then we want to change the period of the chart, for example, or anything like that, basically it should the indicator should redraw all of the objects. So it has to delete all of the objects when we basically close the current time frame, or we change the time frame. So I forgot to add that. So for that I will do one thing. So I will create this void on the init on the init function, which will be basically executed once we for example change the chart time frame. And what I will do here is that I will delete all of the objects on the chart. So now I will also declare the I haven't used define in so long. Indicator. Okay, let's not do define. Let's just do static string, and let's do prefix. Okay, which will be equal to master market master indi. And now basically what I will do is that I will add the prefix to every name of the object or yeah, so I'll do name is equal to prefix plus name. Yeah. And then basically what I can do is that I can just do this objects delete all function, which is 0 prefix -1 -1. So now basically what will happen when I change the time frame, for example, is that it will delete all of the objects with this specific prefix, okay, and it will leave the other ones. So for example, if I deploy this indicator on one chart and then I deploy a couple more indicators on the same chart, and I, for example, do my own analysis, and then I want to delete only this indicator with all of its objects, I can do it by defining this prefix. So that's what I will do. So let's just try it out. So I guess it won't work on live chart right now, or it will work, but it will take a lot of time to basically pick up the lines, which I will work on later. Yeah. So let's try it in the strategy tester in the meantime. So now what I will do is that I will turn input show daily levels to false, so I don't want to see the day levels, and I want to change the color for the weekly level to something like, I don't know, yeah, now it picks up, perfect, to something like pink, okay, and I want to change also the style to dash dot, okay, so let's just try this out. And hopefully, okay, sorry, like this, let's try it. And yeah, here you can see it. So first of all, I have changed the style, so you can see that now it's dash dot, not dot dot. The next thing I've changed is that you can't see the daily levels because I said I don't want to see them. And I've also changed this color for the weekly level. So it works perfectly. So let's check what's on, on our chart. Yeah, it doesn't pick up. Okay, so how long is this video? 40 minutes. Okay, so I guess I will end the video here because this is success for me. And what I will do in the meantime, or like what I will do on my own, is that I will make this code more efficient, so it basically picks up on the live chart as well. So yeah, so that's what I will do. So yeah, thank you for watching and see you in the next part. Bye.